so welcome. I'm glad you're here. We have an hour together to move, to breathe, and to find, hopefully, a little bit of calm. So making sure you feel stable on your chair. Ideally, the chair doesn't have arms and that you have a little bit of space around you. But of course, we're at home, so we work with what we have. If you need the support of the back of the chair, take it. Otherwise, I encourage you to come forward, and that allows us to make sure that we're doing the holding up of our spine and not the chair. So figure out what works for you today, and one day can be very, very different from another. And if you, at any point in any of the movements, if last week felt easier for you and today is a little harder, or like I said, you need the back of the chair today for support, please listen to what your body is telling you today instead of having an expectation of what it should be doing. Our body shouldn't be doing anything other than being how it is, and it's our job to interpret the messages our body's giving us so we can allow it to have the practice that it needs. Making sure your feet are a comfortable, stable distance from you. And that means that if your feet are way underneath you, you're not going to have quite as much stability as if your feet were planted directly on the floor, toes nice and wide. Same thing with our seat. Get nice and comfy into that seat. Rooting down through the feet, through the seat, almost like from the pelvis downwards, you could push down into the earth just a little, as if you were a tree growing your roots downwards. From that stability, that rooting, we rise up through the spine, up through the crown of our head, collarbones wide, and the shoulders are soft. Features of your face are soft too, and your jaw as well. We tend to hold a whole lot of tension in our jaw. We're going to take a deliberate breath in together and exhale it out. Starting to let our day go so far. Even if it's early in the morning, you still have to get up. Exhale it out. Letting tension start to dissolve. Nice. Another one of those deep, full breaths in and letting it go. And then from there, we just let the breath come back to an easy breath. Noticing how you're feeling today. And this is a really important part of the practice, checking in about how you're doing. And that gives us a lot of information as to how our practice is going to or needs to look today. So if you're exhausted and you didn't sleep well, take that into account. Maybe do a few less repetitions and rest a little more. Noticing if there's anything in the forefront of your mind, your heart. And then noticing how your physical body feels. Again, interpreting those signals, those messages our body gives us through sensations to figure out what's going on today. And if nothing particular is going on, then great. But if there is, and you're getting feedback that something feels a little tense or there's discomfort in some places, then we take note of that, taking that information forward into our practice. And then start to notice the breath as it is here. And allowing yourself the opportunity to lengthen the inhale and exhale in your own time. And so the breath gets a little longer. No particular goal though. And once we have that slightly longer breath, we steady the breath out, smoothing it out. And you can listen to the sound of your breath as it comes and goes to notice how steady and smooth it is. See if you can keep that smooth and steady sound coming all the way to the top of the inhale and all the way down to the bottom of the exhale. We're going to keep that checking into the sound, and we're going to mirror that with a mantra if you would like. The mantra being so on the inhale, S-O, and hum on the exhale, so hum. And you just say it silently to yourself, and you can say it out aloud if you prefer. But that's so hum. If you say it silently, it means that the breath can take care of itself. And that so is steady all the way to the top, and the hum is just as even. And that's the breath we'll stay with today. And softening your body for the last time here, just relaxing and releasing. So hum breath. And as we focus on that so hum breath between and through all the movements, and if we keep that focus on the breath, then it means that the movements are blending with the breath, and that we're in a safe place where we're allowing ourselves to stay calm. So hum on the breath, rooting to rise. And from here, we're going to take the very tip of our nose up towards the top right side, as if you're just glancing up towards where the ceiling meets the wall. And on an exhale, we're going to draw the chin over towards the left shoulder, as if you're glancing down towards that left shoulder. Inhaling up to the right, exhaling down to the left. Working once again with that so hum breath. Let the so lift the nose, let the hum draw it down. Making sure you're working with your body. Nice. And if you want to add on, you can take that right hand behind your head. And on that so, we're going to draw the right elbow back. And on the hum, we're going to draw the right elbow down towards the left side. Inhaling and exhaling. So hum. See if we can keep our body as still as possible. And if the hand on your head is a little bit too much, first of all, then just work with your nose. Got another 2 here. And on that exhale, I'm going to take that hand down, bring everything back to neutral. The next inhale is up towards the top left. Exhale down towards the right shoulder. Inhaling and exhaling. Staying in a place where you have those steady so hum breaths. If you want to add on, the left hand can guide you, and that'll just add sensation. So if you don't need that, there's no need to do it. Another 2. Coming all the way back to center. And from here, we're going to roll through those shoulders. Don't worry about what your arms or your hands are doing. Just those steady, smooth movements. So hum. And then we'll go back in the opposite direction. Again, the focus is on those so hum breaths and letting the movement work with the breaths. Another 2 here. And you can always rest or do more. And then we're going to keep those hands dangling down as we come back to neutral. Left hand can stay dangling or hold the chair or your left thigh, your choice. I'm going to turn that right palm up from the elbow, inhaling up, exhaling down. So hum. Listening to the sound of the breath and melting the sound of the breath with the easy, steady movement. Option to move from the shoulder. Easy joints to start with, so hum. And those right fingertips can come over towards the left if you like, and that's where you might want the support of your chair. So hum. So is the inhale, the lifting, coming over the head, exhale down, working in a place that feels comfortable for you. Get another full breath here, so hum. Nice. And then that right hand can either take hold of the chair, your thigh, or dangle, your choice. But the left palm turns up, so hum, bending from the elbow. Nice. So hum. And if this feels comfy, stay or start to move from the shoulders. So hum. There's a softness to working with the breath rather than just working with our body. Option to take those left fingertips overhead, and you can use the chair or your thigh for support, your choice. Getting that length through the left side, but the focus is still so hum. And the next time those fingertips come down, they're going to stay. And any movement you need, go ahead. Seated cat and cow. So if you are sitting all the way into the back of your chair, maybe shuffle forward, even if it's just a millimeter or so you get a little bit more space for the spine to move. Rooting to rise, hands on the thighs. On the inhale, we draw the heels of the hands back. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me, and the heart draws forward, and you can see I have an extension in the spine or an arch in the spine. On the exhale, the fingertips slide towards the knees and we flex the spine. And this will be different for each and every one of us. So working with that so hum. The so lifts the heart, open front chest, elbows come back. Hum all the way down to the bottom of that exhale. So hum. In your own time, in your own way. You can draw the chin up on the inhale and down on the exhale if you'd like to get your neck involved. And if you want to move with the arms, so lifts the arms. Can be as wide or as close together as you like, but the thumbs are spinning behind you. And on that hum, there's a drawing in of the belly, a rounding, and the fingertips come down, gaze lowers. Inhaling, lifting, extension of the spine, maybe the thumbs come back. And on that exhale, we round. On the inhale, you can let those front ribs jut forward. And on that exhale, we curl them in like we're scooping out the belly. And that can look any way because we're all different. We don't have to mirror each other. Just the breath. And if that's a lot on the arms, then you can just take the hands back to the thighs. We've got another 3 breaths. So hum. Nice. And when you're ready, we'll come all the way back up to center. And then we're going to take our feet a little wider and adjust your foundation here so the more support you have is when you come back on the chair. The less support is when you come forward. So if you're challenging your balance a little, maybe you come forward, but staying at a place that feels comfy for you. Hands on the thigh. I like to take my palms to the inside, but it's up to you. Making sure you feel stable and you can still root to rise. And then we're going to roll through the ribs. In one direction. I highly recommend closing your eyes and just tuning into your body, noticing the loud places, seeing if you can even the movement. So hum on the breath. And then at the end of the next exhale, we'll pause and take that round in the opposite direction. So hum. Can get any part of your body involved as long as it feels fluid to you. Rest if this doesn't work for you, otherwise another 2. And then we're going to come all the way back to center. And we're going to use some of that stability in our core to build a little bit of strength. So with our feet at a comfortable, stable distance, keep that right hand on the thigh, and we're just going to bend over to the right. Now our initial movement is normally coming forward. What I want you to imagine is that you've got a wall behind you. So you're just sliding off towards the side. Yeah. And then we're going to come all the way to the side, and maybe you stay here with the hand on your thigh or take the forearm down. Now the forearm, depending on the length of bones, may bring you forward. So consider drawing the left shoulder back here. And we're getting this length from the right hip all the way through the intercostal muscles, all the way through the ribs here. And maybe this is a whole lot and you stay here. You can push your arm in towards the thigh and draw the left ribs out a little, but we're still drawing back with that left shoulder. Chin's drawn in, so we're not turtling the head. And that left, those left fingers come towards or on that left knee. I'm going to turn that palm up on an inhale. We're going to draw it up. Exhale, draw it down. And you can always come from the elbow. We've already been here with the arm up overhead, working with your breath. Inhaling up and exhaling down. So hum. Listen to the sound of your breath and melt the sound of the breath with that mantra, so hum. Now we can stay pulsing here, or lifting those fingertips up and reaching through the fingertips. Once again, drawing that left shoulder back. Now you can stay here with the support or hover that forearm and see whether this is sustainable for you. The breath, so hum, steady inhales and exhales. If it's not sustainable, use the support. If it is sustainable, option to take that right arm up too. Imagine you've got a beach ball and then you're going to draw the beach ball back. So hum on the breath. 3 breaths here. Any tingling or numbness in the hands, please come back, because that means there's some kind of pinched nerve and we don't want that. Any numbness ever or tingling, we stop what we're doing, come back to the breath. So hum for the last breath. Forearm comes down and the left arm comes up. We come all the way back to center. Any movements you need. I'm going to take some water. I'm going to come to the other side. This side may feel different, so work with your body. Left hand on the left thigh, I'm going to come over towards the side. And once again, imagine there's that wall behind you. Rather than coming forward, we're coming back. And then when we get down there, maybe we stay here, hand on the thigh, or if it feels natural and easy for us, that forearm can come down, palm facing up. Right shoulder coming back, and the belly is drawn in, and we're, same thing, rooting to rise, only the rising is through the crown of the head off towards the left this time. Rooting into that left forearm to draw the right ribs out. And that just means that we're engaging our core muscles just a little more. Right fingertips towards the knee. You can turn up. And then from the elbow, inhaling and exhaling. You can stay here, or that arm comes up. Any height, doesn't matter. There's no right or wrong here. There's no optimal place to be. It's just what feels good for you. Drawing that right shoulder back even more. Maybe those fingertips come to the left, maybe they don't. Again, not forcing the body, but just working with the body to open and feel safe. You can stay here. Well, the next time those fingertips come up, option to stay, drawing the right armpit back. And you can hover that left forearm, and if this is not sustainable and you're holding your breath, please come back to that support. Or option to lift up through the left fingertips like you have a beach ball, and then draw everything back. Rooting to rise, 3 breaths. So hum. See if you can let the distractions melt away. So hum for the last breath, all the way down to the end of the exhale. And then when you're ready, forearm comes down if it's not already there, and the inhale draws us up. Rolling through the shoulders. Nicely done. I'm going to stay with that external rotation just for a little bit more, and if you need to adjust that, go ahead. Fingertips come to the inside of your thigh, and we're just going to do a few shoulder dips here. Starting on the right side. This is the inhale, and on the exhale, we're going to dip down through the right shoulder, push the right thigh away, and glance over the left shoulder. Inhaling up to center, staying on the right side. As much or as little as feels good to you, and you can always adjust anything in your body to feel better for you. All those sensations your body is giving you, please listen to them and adjust accordingly. Last one here. And then we're going to go to the left side, dipping down with the left shoulder, and that's going to feel maybe a little bit different. Glancing over that right shoulder if you want to get into the neck. So hum on the breath. Is there anything you can adjust to make it easier for you? Last one, and then we'll go from side to side. So, right and left. And if this side to side doesn't work for you, then just do 3 on one side and 3 on another. One more, either side. Nicely done. And we're going to come all the way back to center. And if you need to adjust yourself on your seat for that, then go ahead. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Coming back to those so hum breaths, and just take a moment here to check in and notice how you're feeling. Notice how your body's feeling. Notice if the breaths, those so hum breaths, are steady and even. And if they're not quite as steady as they were, then take a moment here to mindfully steady those out. And then from here, we're going to start to work down through the body. We've done a little bit in the hips, and we're going to do a whole lot more. I know, you're excited, right? So, rooting to rise. We've got that steady so hum breath, and we're going to start to lift the right heel with that breath. So the so, we push down into the ball of the foot, lift the heel, exhale, take it down. So hum. Just getting focused on that right side. And that doesn't mean that the left leg is not active. In fact, the more we root down through the left leg, the lighter the right heel seems. And this is a great place to be. If you want to add on, when we come up, we start to lift the whole right leg. So hum. Try not to speed up. Keep that even breath, and that's why we establish the breath so early on. So we know that if we're so and hum, then we need to do a little less. Maybe take a break, do less repetitions. So hum, nice. And then when you're ready, we'll bring that knee up, give it a little hug. A little softening into that hip flexor, and we're just going to take the opportunity to circle through the ankle in one direction and then circle through the ankle in the opposite direction. Nice. And then from here, drawing that knee in, we're going to lift up. So this is extension. That left leg is really important for our balance and foundation. Extension through the spine, just like cat and cow. This is the inhale. On the exhale, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me. I'm going to round through the spine, tuck the tailbone, draw the nose in towards the knee. On the inhale, there's a lifting through the chest and extension through the spine, even if it's just a little bit. Exhale, curling, inhaling up. And as you're doing this, you might notice how you roll from the top of your sit bones on the inhale to the back of the pelvis on the exhale. You can rest at any time. Another couple of breaths here. Nicely done. And then at the end of the next exhale, we'll come back to neutral. And we're going to take that right foot all the way down. We're going to come to the other side. Nice. So on the inhale, rooting down through the right foot, we lift up through the left heel and exhale down. And just getting our focus and our breath, that so hum breath, focused on the movement. And you can stay here lifting and lowering, or when we start to lift up on the so, exhale, taking it down. It is a gentle movement, just like the breath is even and smooth. The movement is even and smooth as we can make it as well. The more we push down through that right leg, the easier it seems to lift the left leg. And it doesn't have to come very high. It can even just hover off the floor, taking as much support as you need. Now the next time that knee comes up, we're going to give it a little hug. And you can hold on to the thigh, behind the knee, or in front of the shin, whatever works for you. But there's an extension here through the spine. And this is a great place to stay as we take those circles in through the left ankle, and then back in the opposite direction. So hum this still, even breath. Nice. And then we're going to stay upright, flexing the foot. This is the inhale. And maybe this is where you stay. Or on the exhale, we're going to round like cat and cow, drawing the nose in towards the knee. And it might not ever get there in this lifetime, no big deal. On the inhale, we draw up. Exhale, curling. Inhaling and exhaling. Only as much or as little as feels good for you. Another couple of breaths here. That flexion and extension in the spine, but with balance. And then we're going to come all the way back to center. Nice. And if there's any movements you want to take, you can go ahead and do that now. I'm warm in here today. Okay. We're going to use that foundation and that balance we've used to strengthen through the hip. So rooting down through the left leg, coming up onto the right ball of the foot. And you can stay here. Or rooting to rise, we lift up through the right foot. And with that ankle, we're going to start to circle as if we're cycling just on one side. Keep it even and smooth. So and hum brings us down. That left leg is going to help us allow the right leg to lift more. So hum. Nice. And if you had the foot on the floor, you can do one cycle and take that foot down to the floor so you get a break in between. So working with whatever feels good in your body, notice the direction you're going in. And then at the end of the next exhale, we're going to take that foot down and just take a breath. So hum. Rooting down through the left foot, up comes the right foot or the right heel. We're going to go around in the opposite direction. Slow it down. Doesn't have to be a big movement, but this is where the endurance and the strength through that right hip is building stability. We've got that balance going on the left leg. Rest whenever you need to. We're here for another 3 breaths. Slow it down. So and hum. Nice. One more. And on that hum, we're going to take that right leg down. And if you need any movement in that hip, go ahead and take it. Coming to the other side, right foot is rooted. On the inhale, we lift the left heel, or you can lift the left foot. And then we're going to circle. So hum. Cycling on that left side. Everything else is as still as we can possibly make it. So hum. If you need to break, take a break, take a break. Use the right leg to lift the left. Got another 3 on this side. Rest if you need to. Breath is still so hum breaths. Nice. At the end of the exhale, we're going to take that foot down. Give yourself a break. Big breath in. Exhale it out. Nice. Coming back in the opposite direction. So rooting through the right leg. That's our foundation. That's where we balance. Lifting up through the left heel or the left foot. And going around in the opposite direction. And this for me feels really awkward. And I have to work at making it as smooth as the breath. So and hum. Circling. And if you need to take a break and come back to it. So hum. Got another 3 here. Notice how it feels. Notice what's distracting you. We got one more breath. And then at the end of that exhale, we come all the way down. Nice. Then we're going to take those knees in towards each other. And from here, rooting down through that left leg, coming onto the right, we're going to wing out the right knee on an exhale and draw it in on an inhale. Now, if you need to come more forward on your chair for that to be a little more open, then go ahead. If you need more stability, draw back in your chair. This is the inhale. On the exhale, out it comes. Inhale together. The left leg is there as foundation, and the rest of us is just as stable as that left leg. So hum. This is the so. Hum, the knee comes out. Just softening in through that hip that we've just gathered a whole lot of tension in. So staying at a place that feels easy and smooth. And then we come to the left side after this last breath. Knees in towards each other on the left side. Exhaling, hum. So coming back together. Everything else is still, that right leg is our foundation. Make sure you feel stable here above all else. So easing through the left hip. Another couple on this side. And after the next one, we'll go from side to side. So right side, and then left side. Nice. Beautiful. Last one. Coming back to center, we'll take our feet about hip distance. We're going to build a little more strength. I know, it's exciting. So, coming back to the right side, left leg is our foundation. We're going to lift and lower that right heel. And then the next time it comes up, it's going to stay. We're going to take the flat palm of our right hand on top of that thigh. From there, rooting down through the hand, building up the pressure as the thigh is pushing back up into the palm. And you can stay here with the heel lifted, ball of the foot down to the floor. Now adding on, building in stability, the first thing we need is that foundation on the left side, and then you can hover the right leg. We've kind of already been here today. And then we start to build up pressure, so that right palm pushes down, but the right thigh pushes up. We start to build pressure. Belly's drawn in, heart is lifted, same as always, reaching through the crown of our head. So hum on the breath. And you get to decide how much or how little pressure you build up. Maybe just holding it there is enough, or maybe you can start to push down and pull up. So hum. And if it feels like you're getting to a place where it's shaky, but the breath still holds in that steady measure, you can continue. We've got another 3 breaths here. Nicely done. One more breath. And on that exhale, release the pressure and take that right leg down. Nice. Coming to the other side. Left heel lifts. Excuse me. Right foot is rooted down. Palm of the left hand flat on the left thigh. And we're not gripping here. It really is a pushing down. Even out the shoulders. Stay here or lift the left foot. And then you get to decide how much pressure you put on that. Maybe you're putting so much that if you took your hand away, that knee would fly up. Or if you took the leg away, that hand would come down. You get to decide. This is your practice. You'll know how much is too much because the breath is no longer even and steady. You regulate that breath, so hum. Take a break if you need to. Otherwise, I need another few breaths here. 3 more. Belly's drawn in, everything rooting to rise. That right leg is just as active. And on that last exhale, take the foot down and release that pressure. Nice. We're going to do the outside and inside of our legs too. And I know it's a lot of work, but the work builds up the strength. And you get to decide how much or how little. So going back to the right leg, coming back to that so hum breath, a steady breath in and out. Left leg is your foundation, and we lift up through the right heel. Palm of your right hand comes to the outside of the right thigh and slide it down on or towards the knee. And this is a great place to stay with the ball of the foot on the floor. And that outer right knee is going to push into the palm of your right hand, and the palm is going to push back. You can stay here. There's a whole lot more in the arms, but we can even it out by lifting the right foot. Pushing into the palm, into the outer knee into the palm, but the upper body is stable. So hum on the breath. You get to build the pressure. And maybe just holding it here is a lot, or maybe you can start to build a little more strength. Inhaling and exhaling, so hum. Got another 3 breaths here. Use that left leg to rise up through the crown of the head. Your heart is open, shoulder blades back, snuggled towards each other. Nice. Last exhale. Are we going to take that foot or the heel all the way down? We're getting there. Before coming to the other side, we're going to do the inside of the right leg. So the palm of your right hand flips to the inside of that knee. And depending on how long your bones are, depends on how long, how far down your thigh that right palm gets. So don't worry about that. There's nothing we can do about it. There's no right or wrong. There's no better or worse. It's just we're working with the bodies that we have. Left leg's rooting down. Lift the right heel. So hum on the breath. Option to stay here. Option to hover the leg. And we start to build that pressure. The inside of the thigh, building pressure with the palm pushing out. Everything else is stable and still. The belly's drawn in. This is where the core, the fire is starting to build. Inhaling and exhaling. So hum. Always working with the breath, not against it. As soon as we're working against it, we hold it. Got another 3 breaths here. You can always take a break. And once again, if the shaking that's happening, but the breath is even, then stay. Last breath. And then we release the pressure and that right leg comes down. And you can circle through that shoulder. It's a whole lot on the arm as well. And we'll get into that a little bit later. This is the last thing we have to do on the left side. So, palm of the left hand flat to the outside of the thigh, drawn towards or on the knee. Lifting up through the left heel, but the right leg is our foundation. So hum on the breath. And then when you're ready, maybe hovering that foot, building that pressure, outer leg into the palm. And there's this stalemate as the palm meets the pressure of the leg meets the pressure of the palm. Everything else is stable and still, and we're building that pressure while the breath is still even. So hum breath. Right leg is just as important. That's your balance. So hum. Another 2. So hum. Stay for the exhale. And then we release that leg down. And any movements you need, go ahead. Nice. And then coming to the inside now. So the inside of the left thigh is met with the flat palm of the left hand. Right leg is foundation and we're lifting up. Lift up through the left heel, start to build the pressure. And maybe this is where you stay with the ball of the foot on the floor, or when you're ready, we hover the leg. And there's that pressure that is built up. Soften through the shoulders, so your shoulders and your arm on taking all the pressure here. And feel your hip doing the work as the power comes from your hip, drawing in. Nice. So hum on the breath. Another few breaths here. Let's say 3 more. So hum. Belly's gathered in. We've still got that rooting to rise. That right leg is still active. You got 1 more breath here. Stay for the exhale. And then when you're ready, release the pressure. Nicely done. Any movements you need. And then we're going to take those feet a little wider, take hold of your chair, and then we're just going to take those hips from side to side. Yeah, it was a whole lot of work, right? Nice. And then from here, we're going to take your feet in towards each other. opening out the left leg, right leg is foundation, and we can take that foot in towards that right leg. Opening it out, and you get to adjust how close you are to the back or front of your chair to how much you open up through that knee. Now, if you happen to have a block handy, you can rise that foot up onto a block or not. You can stay here, or if that ankle comes all the way up onto the right thigh, you can stay here too. Don't worry about whether the knee is up high or out. Finding some foundation wherever you are and lifting from that foundation up, getting some external rotation into that left hip. You can stay here, or if you want to, hand to knee, hand to ankle, or thigh to thigh, and we can start to come forward, making sure that you feel stable. If it feels unstable, please stay upright. And as we come forward, maybe you feel a building in the hip of the pressure, lifting up through the heart, so we're not caving in here. It's not a cat, it's more of an extension or a straight spine. Shoulder blades come towards each other, and we're breathing. Nice. Above all else, we're feeling stable and safe. So hum on the breath. Nice. And you can stay here for as long as you like, or we come all the way back up, and wherever that foot was, we release it. Nice. Coming to the other side, which can feel very different. So knees in towards each other, and we'll take that right knee out. We've already been here today, earlier when we were doing our side to sides. Staying here a little longer, allowing the body to stay here and open some more. If you have a block, you can take that under your feet, so we get to isolate more into the right hip, or if that ankle comes all the way up onto the left thigh, you can do that too. And again, don't worry about what angle that knee is at, as long as it feels safe in your knee. No pressure, but gentle resting of hands on knee or ankle, or knee to knee. You can use this to come forward and feel supported, as long as it does feel safe. If it doesn't feel safe, stay upright. Inhaling and exhaling. And if you're finding yourself rounding, as if we're scooping out the belly again, lift up through the heart, send your tailbone out behind you, and that'll isolate a little bit more into that outer right hip. And we breathe. We're just here, hanging out, breathing. So hum on the breath. Easy breath. And you get to decide how deep or how high you come, and that's going to change the sensation. So we listen to those sensations and adjust everything to make sure that we're feeling safe, that the breath is still even and smooth, and we can focus on those so hum breaths. And then when you're ready, if you're forward, up we come on an inhale, and then we release the leg, no matter where that is. And from here, I'm going to invite you to come back into your chair. And then we're going to take the hands in towards each other and interlace those hands. If you prefer to have prayer palms or knuckles towards each other, you can do that too. And then from here, we're going to figure of 8 through the wrists. And you can keep the arms moving, but the more you isolate into the upper arms, as if they're drawing in towards the belly, or drawing in towards your ribs, we get more movement in the wrists itself. But if this feels easier for you, then go ahead. And we always do our favorite direction first. So I'm going to ask you to look down, make sure you know which direction you're going in, and we're going to pause and take it round in the opposite direction. And I know for me, this isn't anywhere near as smooth as the opposite direction, and that's why we have to do it. It's an excellent thing to do. Any of these while you're sitting down, maybe taking in some television or a movie, or you just got to spare a couple of minutes in your day. Yeah, getting that nourishment to all of those joints. And then we're going to release that out. And we're going to take the knuckles towards me as if we're sitting on a moped or a push bike or a motorbike. I guess you get to choose. And then we're going to roll those knuckles down with your breath. So hum. And you might feel this in different places, across your hands, over your wrists, maybe even in your forearms. Don't worry about what the elbows are doing. They can be out, they can be in. This is all about your wrists. Yeah, and then we're going to stop and take the thumbs to the sky. We're going to roll the wrists inwards. And this may feel different or not. And then we're going to turn those pinky fingers up so the knuckles are rolling out now. Nice. And then let that go. We're going to take the right hand towards me as if you're like, stop, Tony, please stop talking. And then we're going to take those left fingers all the way down to the base of the right fingers and pull back. And we're going to push with the right heel of the hand forward. And don't worry about whether that elbow is bent or straight. It really doesn't matter. But we're opening up the carpal tunnel here underneath the wrist. And then gently release, and we're going to take the thumb to the base of the thumb and bring that back. Take it easy. Easy breath. So hum. And then from there, other side. Left palm comes out, right fingers to the base, and we bring the fingers back, but we push the heel of the hand forward, and we breathe. Nice. Release slowly, base of the thumb, drawing that back. Working with your thumb, not against it. We're not trying to create something it's not naturally and easily giving us. And then from there, shake out the hands. We're going to ball those fingers up into a tight fist and then sparkle the fingers out, get some movement going. Ball those hands up and then sparkle those fingers out. Another 2 here. Last one. Always feel like these are fireworks. Yeah. And then we're going to take those hands down and you're going to sit back into the back of your chair and get comfy. And if you've got a couch next to you or you want to lie down on your bed, you can go ahead. If you would like a way longer relaxation, I highly recommend turning this off now and getting into relaxation and staying there for as long as you like. Otherwise, sitting into the back of your chair, maybe taking a blanket up, turning the lights out if they're on, and coming to a place that feels simply comfortable for you, whatever that is. We'll take a big breath in. And soften the gaze, lower the gaze, or close the eyes. You can take another few deliberate breaths in and out, or we'll take a deep breath in. Hold at the top of your breath. Soften through the body. Take another breath in. Meet it with another hold. Soften the body. Take one last sip of air. And exhale it all out. Allow that exhale to soften through the body, relaxing and releasing tension. The breath comes back to a comfortable, easy breath. And we allow our mind to feel soothed as well. Just simply letting thoughts and distractions fall away. Imagine your heart could open and feel a little bit less constricted. As if a layer of wrapping got peeled away. inside and outside of your body starts to soften and release. And the breath is so easy here. You can almost detect that soft so hum, that natural sound of the breath, which we've been mirroring. Allow everything to get soothed away, releasing anything you no longer want. Any last little bits that you're still holding on to, let it go. And then when you're ready, and see if you can detect a place in your body that feels like the quietest, calmest place in this moment. And if no place arises, that's okay, just pick a place. And imagine that calm waving out from that place into the whole of your body. Letting go any last little bits of tension. And then in your own time, simply start to notice your body resting here on the support. Get a sense of the space in the room around you. And we start to take a little deeper inhale, a little longer exhale. Maybe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Allowing that exhale to be soft and long. And then when you're ready, in your own time, starting to awaken your body in a way that feels comfortable for you. There's no right and wrong here. Any kind of movement at all, bringing you back to where we started. Rooting down to rise in your own time. Finding that earth, that support underneath you, lifting from there. And then in your own time, taking your hands into a gesture for today. And take a big breath in. Exhale it out, chin comes down towards your chest. Maybe tuning back into that quieter place. Thank yourself for taking the time to move, to breathe, to pay attention, to honor all the sensations and to interpret those into the class that you needed today. From my heart to yours, namaste.